Good morning again, Facebook peeps. We are here for the Sexy Business Club launch party. I am Kim White. I am the team leader for My Sexy Business, and I am so excited this morning to have with me the beautiful, sweet songbird. I call her my little songbird, but she's an author, a speaker. She just has a corporate trainer. She has like all of these accolades. I could go on and on, but I'll just let you get to know my little songbird, Kristi Bridges.
Hi. Your introductions always turn me red.
Thank you so much for being here this morning. And we are learning this technology together, the whole lot of us. And I'm actually going to look down for a minute. I don't want anyone to think I'm being rude, but I'm going to look down a minute and share this on my personal page because I am doing this from my business page, and I need to make sure that all of my friends are able to see this. So I am actually getting on and going to share this to my page. Okay. I just wanted to make sure everybody was covered because I didn't want anybody to not be able to hear you and see your beautiful new office. I'm so proud for you.
Thank you. I am so happy with it. I'm just surrounded by inspiration on two walls of authors that I respect and enjoy. I'm going to share it real quick on mine. And let's see here. Oh, I love the power of these live experiences. How cool.
And the fact that none of us are trained at this and we're still doing it. That's one of the sexy sauce things.
Well, that's actually one of the coolest things about working with you is that you're willing to try things to make it easier for the rest of us. I love that. Kim's like, if anything's worth doing, it's worth doing poorly so that you can get good at it. And that helps.
Yeah, everybody gives me a hard time about that class in particular because I do teach that. Anything worth doing is worth doing poorly. And that doesn't mean we should stay doing it poorly. But it's worth trying. It's worth trying. And you make me proud because you have done some things that were out of your comfort zone. And I love that we get out of our comfort zone. But that's where the magic happens, is when we get outside those places of comfort. Before we did the Hope to Hope conference, I had never used Be Live. I'd done some Facebook Lives, but I had never done this app. And I just get tickled because everybody thinks that, I'm such an expert. And I'm like, well, the truth is I made my account an hour before we went live.
Well, and you get to be an expert how? By learning. And thankfully, you going ahead of us helps us to be experts a little more easily with fewer tears, because although I think you probably laugh more than you cry, but I probably would have screamed. So I know that how rocky it was right at the beginning of the last conference, but the material that you brought us was worth dealing with new technology to experience those interviews. I sat there while I was working, just listening to those interviews, and they were wonderful. Such strength from those people that you interviewed, strength and encouragement, and the fact that we can understand that we're not alone in the battle. Other people have been through struggles, maybe different struggles, but struggles that they've come through.
Well, you were one of the phenomenal speakers for Hope to Hope, and I will say that conference was a blessing. I was trying to promote people I believe in and give a platform that didn't cost the speaker anything and didn't cost the attendee anything. The only thing that they needed was, time just to get on and to do it. And I have to tell you, I think I came out more blessed than everyone. I came out with just being overwhelmed with not only the amount of speakers, but just the quality of speakers. We had such amazing people on there, including you, that were willing to share their vulnerable parts, so that other people could gain hope from that, and just how good God is to turn those things into power for us.
Can I just share about our first conversation about all this? Okay, so a couple of years ago, I was making this kind of a big decision. I was at a point in my life where the band that I had been in for a long time, been writing songs with, we had kind of had to go back into our separate lives to take care of family and finances and things. And I didn't know what to do with myself. And I thought, oh, well, I guess I'll go back to school and advance my corporate career, which I have a good corporate career. But what was in my heart was writing and speaking. And I cried when I applied for college. I felt like part of me was saying, you're abandoning me. And Kim came and talked to me, and she said, what you're doing is good, but here's what God is showing me about you. And by the end of the conversation, I realized she was going to help me build my own conference, not just speak in somebody else's conference, although I'd still like to do that too, but build one that was part of the dream that I had. And with a friend of mine who is just right in line with that, Jennifer Owen, she's amazing. And we had our first conference, and since then, Kim showed me how to do all kinds of different things, like the Hope to Hope conference online. Expert at making things simple.
Well, I want to tell another funny on you, though, because, she sends me messages, and I love Kristi because she's an encourager, and she's somebody to have in your life, period. I'll just say that. But I get so tickled because she sent me a message that, thank you for being our guinea princess. Like, not a guinea pig, guinea princess, because I teach social media, and a lot of the things that I teach, I tell you, don't do what I'm doing, because I'm showing you why not to do it on my stuff, because I'm the test monkey. I always say that, I'm the test monkey for things, because I want to make sure that you're not wasting time in business. And so she sent me a message earlier that she says, thank you so much for being our guinea princess.
Well, you do that in business and in social media. I mean, Kim's a serial entrepreneur that's had all kinds of businesses, successful businesses, and some businesses that she had to learn as she went. And so she's there going, okay, here's how it works best. Make your business work for you instead of your business working you to death, right?
Exactly. That's sexy.
Now, I promised my viewers that they would hear what a sexy business was, Kim, because me, I do Bible stuff. And I'm like, so if you know me, you know what a sexy business is not. Let's find out what sexy business means. Can you tell us about that?
Of course. Sexy is all about being attractive, that we have a business that we own that doesn't own us, so that we create a sexy life with, freedom and finances and family and all the things that is your there. Wherever your there is, whatever your success looks like, you can create that with a sexy business versus having just an ugly business. I've had ugly businesses. I've had yuck. And, I told the story about the furniture store I had at 16. Mm-hmm. I don't recommend any teenager being locked into any kind of brick and mortar, building and thinking they're going to be happy, because all I wanted to do was run the road with my car. And I was just dying because I had to wait until, the store closed to do that. Mm-hmm. And so that was not a good plan at all. But it took some ugly things to know what sexy was. And I think that that's the exciting part about you. That's the exciting part about the club. That's the exciting part about, the people that we're connected to with our team is we know what sexy is now. So let's work on that instead of spending all of our time working on the ugly. Let's get some sexy in your life and in your business. So that's my definition of sexy.
Yes, because we get these ideas based on what we're taught or what we've seen, right? Just like any young girl looking at a magazine gets an idea of what attractive is, right? But in real life, some of that stuff is exhausting for you and the people you're trying to attract. It's the same thing with business. We get an idea of what success looks like that really isn't suited to who we are or what we ultimately want in our lives. And so you help us find out first, what is it that drives me? What is it that's going to make me want to show up every day? And what is it that's going to make the work worthwhile instead of, just having my dream pummeled into the dust because of being worked by it. And so you've helped me refocus some of my attention. My focus was everywhere when I met you. It's still, I have to work at it. But you've helped me refocus my attention so that I could actually, along with the book, launch this study group and actually get, feedback and interaction and see people growing, then do the little videos and there's a quiz and some other things that go with it. And so, it's like, okay, how can we find the thing that is going to make me happy for doing this work and keep that part going instead of following other people's definition of how to build the standard, I appreciate that.
And you're so cute. I just want to say too that, you had been, I don't know, I don't think it's taught, but you had been told. They had been talking to you, whoever they are, and they were telling you that you needed all these things that cost all this money to do your book, and you needed all this money to do all of these things for your, for the Bible studies you teach. And the truth is, you didn't need all that stuff, but you didn't know that. And so I think some of sexy is also learning what not to do. Yes. It's not just learning to attract instead of chase clients. That's one thing, learning to attract them. But the other thing is in your group that you've got going on right now, man, you've got a sexy crew in there. You've got some amazing people.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was different than what you saw it in the beginning. And I think that's the part that's, you showed up. Here's the thing. I'm going to brag on you. You showed up and you listened. You listened to what it was going to look like if it turned out ugly. And you didn't want it to be ugly. It is something super sexy. And a lot of that came from, being with the right people and being surrounded. And I'm not even talking about just our team. I'm talking about people we know. You came to the Run Women's Conference Tour and met Dr. Cassandra, and oh my goodness, you got connected there in a huge way. And I think that's the stuff that people need to understand about having a sexy business. It is about relationships. It's more relationships than transactions. The transactions happen, but it's the relationships that bring the value. It's the relationships that create the for people to want to buy what you're writing about. I know you, and I adore you. You already know that. But I look and I think, how many people, your book, I just want to talk about your book for a minute, that came out of that whole changing up. You could have done something totally different and never done your book, never done your workbook, never done any of that. And then what a hole the world would have that was missing because you didn't do it. And so when you did that, it's such a powerful thing because it comes from, and I kind of want to go back to the hope to hope for just a second. It goes back to some things in your life that you wish you had known. And you take that and turn it into this powerful program called, Wisdom is Better Than Wishing.
Yeah.
I mean, tell us a little bit about that, because I really want people to understand like the value that you've brought to the world by learning what to do and what not to do in business. Because it is people will write a book, but it should never be just about a book. It's about your business. So tell me a little bit about your book.
I think before I do, I just want to say one of the first things that you helped me with this book was not allowing in a closet and go, oh, yep, I wrote a book. I wish people could read it. Because we're taught to be self-deprecating. Oh, yeah, I wrote a book once. And you're like, this is your baby. I spent a year on this. And honestly, God spent years and years teaching me the material in here. 25 years ago, I wanted to write a book someday. And I wrote songs for years, but I knew that I needed a certain level of maturity to share the things that God wanted to share through me. And this is about real life, about communication and about relationships. I use the book of Proverbs to help people better, help people nurture their relationships, and help people hear God in a way that we just don't realize. We think God just hands us a bunch of rules and goes, here, get to it. There'll be a test. And God's like, oh no, you're my kid. Hey, come here. Let's go to work. I want to show you some stuff. And it's like you're sitting there in the garage building your first bike with your dad. God is that kind of hands-on father. And we have, come on, face it, we've got issues, right? We've got things that we learned about ourselves or about relating with people that were cemented in us as we were teenagers. Were we mature as teenagers? And so as adults, we need to go in and let God examine those things and look at them with him. At the end of each chapter are some questions to go, okay, how does this apply to me? And then the journal, the workbook, has self-affirmations. Today I'm going to, as well as those same questions and space to really deal with them. And it's not just questions, not just self-examination. It also teaches us to open our eyes and look around us all day long for the places God's working so that we can just jump in. Because just like with business, we learn life by trial and error. We learn life by doing. We can't just hear it. We have to and go, I went a little extreme there, and how to balance it out. But you taught me not to just set it in a closet and go to writing the next book, but to actually take care of it so that the people that I want to grow from this actually get a chance to hear about it. It's wonderful.
Yeah. Well, the thing is we're stewards over these things that God has given us, and these books and these workbooks and these groups and clubs, and there's a lot of responsibility that comes with these things that a lot of people get desperate. And this is the thing, is they get desperate for the money side of things because they do have to pay their bills and they do have to take care of things. They lose sight of what it's really about. They lose sight of the bigger picture of that. If you're taking care of the relationships and you're taking care of the things, that it may go slower than you want it to. I mean, that's the thing. It may be slower than you want it to be, but it still is going to happen if you don't stop. The only way to fail is to quit. If you show up and you keep showing up and you keep showing up, which is one of the things that I have to brag on you about, is you are a show up girl. You know, you have shown up and you've been discouraged. We all go through that. And I love the fact that even discouraged, you show up.
Yeah. There are times I take breaks for life balance, but there are things that you and my mom helped me come up with this idea to do the 1 minute wiser. And so that me at least every day I'm doing at least one thing that is helping people and continuing the business. And, slowly those things have started to expand, and those 1 minute wisers are helping to kind of form the notes for my next couple of books. I've already started in the process of planning the next 2 books. So that little bit of showing up every day, and some days I do a whole lot of work, but some days it's just that, and that really helps. The relationships, though, you're right, because I tend to be a task-focused person, and my heart wants to touch people's lives, but I think I need to sit in a hole and do the work to prepare it. And you keep me connecting, like the Run Women's Conference and other ways, keep me meeting people and talking to people, because that lifts my soul and helps me to believe when I'm discouraged, but it also it does what my heart wants to do. It reaches people. We're able to talk about real stuff. I love that.
Yeah. Well, and you and I got tickled because Keisha Chester, who I hope is watching, she does not care for social media, I'll just say, because it's intimidating. And she's brilliant. I mean, she's a brilliant woman. But social media can be overwhelming. And I got so tickled at you because you just took her outside the conference and said, we're going to do a Facebook Live now. And you just did it with her.
It was so
and
fun.
Then but that gave her the courage to come on and do an interview on Be Live. And it's like all of these little things. And that's the club. Like, that's the Sexy Business Club. It's helping each other do the things we're scared of and helping each other get through. And you and I are both the same about the simple. We can get really complicated about things and then we don't get anything done.
Yeah.
But if we'll go back to the simple, the only thing you had to learn was one thing. It makes it doable. It makes it not so overwhelming. And I'm so proud of you. I'm proud of the fact that, you're changing lives in a way that, you're going deep with people in the Word. And I love that. But I love what I see in you, because I get the privilege of being in the front row, watching all this happen with you. And just the beautiful person that you are. And you went from not knowing what you needed to do and thinking that maybe you needed a they certificate, that maybe you needed a degree because they said you needed a degree to write your book. And it's just not true. And I love that. I love that you allowed for a minute to be your they, because that's a sexy thing too, is, if we put theys in place that are actually for us and not out to, take advantage of someone, that's a huge thing. And you are that way. You are, you want people to come on and watch your 1 minute wiser, but it's not because you want to be in front of the camera. It's because you know the impact that it will have on them. I just think you're amazing. That's what I think.
It goes back to your definition of sex, which I love. That if someone is believing that they're unattractive, if someone is having no success and they start to let themselves kind of slide, and they become that homebound unmotivated, uninspired, no decent conversation person, we become that way when we feel worthless or like we don't have anything special. But when we are around people who recognize what's special in us and start to go, hey, you need to use that, then we start to use that and we feel better already. But then we begin to become more interesting. We begin to become more attractive because we feel attractive and we feel useful. And then what we do with that, our creative endeavors, become things that other people can use. And we see success there. We just keep growing in that power that draws other people to go, I could have power too. They want that and they come and they want to be part of it. That is how sexy develops. And it's not about sex, guys. It's about that attraction, and you know what? We're all better for it. We're all better because we're all actually doing something instead of mushrooming, instead of becoming that tree that's just, sitting there decomposing. You know what I mean? Weird simile.
You're such a nature girl, though.
My first book was actually a book about mushrooms. It was a photography book. I'll have to share that sometime.
It's beautiful. That was beautiful. But, that's the thing that, and in the club, we have a Tornado Tuesday thing that we do. And I think nature and the tornado, I'm trying to draw a connection here.
I love you for that.
I think that, we sometimes let things be destructive to our dreams. And, we coined a phrase way back at your conference that I feel like is an absolute truth about the club as well. And that we're dream breathers. Yes. We are not dream stealers or dream, destroyers, but we are dream breathers. That, we started back then. It was right before the conference. A Rose and Bloom was your conference with Jen, and it was such an impactful. It was just such an impactful time because I know at least one person went on to do something major that you're helping her now do. And a lot of her courage, I think, came from that day. I think it came from that conference. And, if it is just, you just don't know who you're going to help or who you're going to change their life. And if you're just selling products, I'm going to go out on a limb again, but if you're just selling products and you're not serving with those products and you're just wanting to make sales, we are not your flavor. Right. If you want to sell products and build a business around it because you believe in your products and you are living proof of your products, then we are your flavor, because we don't want to just teach sales pitches. No. Or, teach people just to, buy things, transactions. We want to teach people how to build relationships so that for the rest of their lives, they have those connections where when your new book comes out and you have 10,000 loyal fans who want to buy everything that you come out with, all of a sudden you've sold 10,000 in the first week because you took the time to build those connections. Not because you're some famous person or because, you're out there being a celebrity. It's because of the connections you've made, the empowering connections. And anybody that knows you is, they know you're a cheerleader. You're somebody who cheers the people around you on. You're one of my best cheerleaders. I just love whenever we went to the conference in Oklahoma, it was the Toastmasters conference. And I'm teaching about social media, and I got so tickled at you because you're helping me teach, and it wasn't planned. And then you turn around and say, I didn't mean to like take over. I didn't mean to. And I'm laughing because I'm thinking that's exactly what makes me the proudest is you've implemented what I told you and done it. And now you're the best person to tell because it's worked. And that's just super sexy.
Good teacher if your students are teaching your class.
I love it. I want you to be smarter than I am. Like, I want you to pass me by because that's the best thing that can happen. And, you know, in this club, it's the same way. I want people who are way smarter than I am about things to participate and help breathe on the dreams of the members, because that's the thing is if we are breathing on it, it's just like a fire. You know, a fire will go out if it doesn't have oxygen. And I think a dream will go out if we're not breathing on it, if we're not giving some life to it and some show up and some do some things. A dream will sit idle. We did a whole series for a class that we taught in a cemetery. And it's because that's where most people's dreams go, is they die with them because they don't actually, you know, participate and show up, and they don't trust that what's stirring inside of them is what they should be doing.
Well, and what do you have to do? If I breathe out, what do I have to do next? I'm going to breathe in. So, you know, I was talking to someone this week who has a couple of daughters that are going through that jealousy phase where some friend of theirs might do something first or get to do something they couldn't do, and they'll be jealous and mad. And I'm like, no. If we celebrate each other and we support each other, we breathe on their dreams, then we have to take in oxygen too. Our dreams are going to come and they're going to get fulfilled. We're going to, you know, we're not just breathing on somebody else's dreams. We're participating the fact that dreams come, and that comes back to us. I like that you teach collaboration and that you really, I mean, that's always your focus, service and collaboration. But service doesn't have to mean you stay poor for your rest of your life, right? Service means you do what is special, what God has called you to do, and you design it in a way that it feeds itself. You kept me from spending thousands of dollars or from basically mortgaging off my talent to a big firm, and helped me learn how to make my business pay for itself with a little investment. I appreciate that.
And, you know, I think, oh, thank you. Thank you for all your sweet words. But, you know, I think that what you said is super powerful about when we dream. Like when we let our dreams be breathed on, when we let people in to know that they have them, we catch a little of your dream. I mean, I caught your dream when I breathed back in so that I understand what you're doing, and I want to participate. I want to help you. You know, I haven't gotten a single commission check from your books. I haven't gotten a single, you know, I mean, because that's not how it works. But how priceless is the relational currency that I get back from you, because I did get in the trenches with you and we did breathe on that. Those, you know, and the thing is a dream starts in our mind. It doesn't start, you know, by having this big thing. Nobody handed me a big company and said, okay, you're the one, you know. And now I'm offered things because I've been dream breathing for a long time. I am offered things like becoming a leader of a company. I mean, I was asked in the last couple of weeks to do some pretty major things, including being one of the executives for a large company. But here's the thing. That's because of relational currency. That's because of relational, you know, contact. It's because of things that when no one's looking and you're still doing the right thing, and when no one's looking and you're still breathing on that dream because I believe in you. I mean, I think that's a big part of I think that's a big part of business that most people just miss out on. They miss out on it because they're just worried about selling that $20 thing.
Yeah.
You know, when if they stop for a second and realize it's not the $20 thing, you know, and how much more money do you make in a business than you do by running around trying to sell one thing?
Oh, yeah. Well, and have you ever talked to a salesman who you know is just desperate to make you buy something? Nobody wants to buy from somebody like that. You might feel sorry for them.
Exactly.
You don't actually want what they have if they're that desperate. So you've got to be fulfilled in your own work.
Well, and you know, your dream was sent, I think, your dream was sent to fulfill someone's problem. It's an answer to someone's problem. But what we do a lot of times is we look at it through our eyes of we need money to pay, you know, the light bill, and we need money to feed our kids, and we need money to do this, instead of stepping back and going, okay, why is this dream even there? It's so that we can look through someone else's eyes and see what they have need of, because in doing that, all those other things come.
Yeah.
In doing that, you open up opportunities. Now, you have to be smart. You have to be a steward of your money. You have to be a steward of what you do. And Lord knows I've done plenty of things that were like stupid. I'll just say the word, you know. I've made lots of bad decisions. But the truth at the end of the day is you can recover from your own stupidity if you want to.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so I think that's a big part of surrounding yourself with people from the club. I'm going to just keep going. I can't help it. It's so exciting to me to watch people like you coming into the club and, you know, breathing on other people's dreams. You're not going to be mean to anybody. You've been there. You're not going to turn your nose up at someone's idea of something because you've been there. You weren't sure if anybody wanted to have what you had. And yet, look at the huge outcome of it. Look at how many people you're impacting every day. And you know, I am privy to things on the inside because I have seen, but you know, just the fact that you caused some powerful leaders that are in your group to change their day. How many people did that impact?
Yes.
I mean, we don't know. We don't know how many people that you're impacting by just doing that one little thing you think, that one little thing, and now it's turned into this huge thing that has all these moving parts. And how sexy is it? I mean, how sexy that you get to have that kind of influence, that you get to be with the leaders and you get to be with some pretty sexy people. I'm just saying.
So tell us more about the group, the club. Are you ready to share some details? Or am I
Yes,
okay, sir. You can be like, no.
Well, I've got my red lipstick on. I'm ready to share.
I love it. Guys, I have to tell you, I love, if you haven't noticed yet, Kim is a wonderful coach. But anyway, go ahead.
You're so cute. Well, you know, in the club, there's going to be, and I have a whole list written so I don't forget anything. I'll just say that because there is so much going on in the club. I'm overwhelmed with, like, the number of things to remember to say. But we're going to have Marketing Monday, where we promote, you know, whatever it is that your dream is, your business is. We have Tornado Tuesday, where we talk about things that were, in life that were destructive or needed a cleanup, and how we've done that, how we've learned something or grown from something so that other people can be encouraged where they are. We have Website Wednesday, where if you have done something amazing on your website, we're going to celebrate with you. But if you need help with something, you've got a link broken, or you're having trouble with, some tidbit, you can get on and post, and the members and our team are going to try to help you figure that out, because sometimes we get stuck on little things. We get stuck on tiny little, we had something I was getting stuck on, and it took me going back and revisiting it several times, but we have some awesome peeps on the team that are way more techie and way smarter and way everything better than I am. So that's a sexy thing. We have Think Tank Thursday.
Something's broken. You don't want to lose clients because your website isn't. I went to a website the other day that looked like it would be really interesting on a computer, but everybody uses their phone. And on my phone, all the words were all over each other, and you couldn't make heads or tails of it. So, yeah, we need that help. And it's expensive. So I'm glad we've got people in there. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but that excites me. Go ahead.
Well, and the truth is, if you don't use anything else except that, one tip a week on that is worth the price of the club and then some. So I totally agree. Think Tank Thursday, we're going to do some brainstorming. If you have something that's not working in your business, or you need a way to do it better, or if you have an idea that you need some feedback, so that we can brainstorm with you and help you get that dream alive. Get it out of the closet and get it out of the back of the drawer, and get it out there and let us breathe with you on it. Finish Friday, we're going to talk about how to follow up, because wealth is in the follow-up. It's in the relationship building. It's in the calling back. I've actually had several incidences just in the month of August that I tried to do some things. I tried to take care of some things, tried to buy some things, tried to bless some people, and I didn't get calls back. And I kind of laugh, because it's like, if you are doing business, you have to do that. And I'll tell you, I haven't been faithful a lot of times either. So I'm not saying that from a high and mighty position. I'm saying that from a position of, we want to be a customer to our being, what that looks like.
Yeah.
And follow-up is where the wealth is. Follow-up is where the relationship is. So Finish Friday, we're going to talk about how to finish instead of checking out. We're going to finish on Fridays. Sexy Saturday, we want you to share something sexy about your website, or about your team, or about your campaign. Kind of a day to be grateful, but get to brag a little too, because we like that. And then Superior Sunday. Sunday is going to be about your vision. Do you have something that you need to say out loud so that we can get behind you and believe with you, believe in you, and believe in what you're doing? So that's kind of our daily thing. We also are going to have daily, and I use this word, encouragement videos. The courage, heavy on the courage, because I will be talking about things that are not necessarily easy, but they're simple. Yeah. The ways that we can show up in business and be courageous and show up in life, because I don't think the compartmentalizing of our business and life are the way to be. We are too integrated, especially as women. I think men can sometimes compartmentalize better. I think they're better at it than we women are. But, we've got to know how to work together in our life and our business. And so those are going to be daily. We're going to have weekly Q&As where we're going to teach something and give everybody opportunity to come on and ask us out loud things. They get access to us, the team. And then we're going to have, I have to look at my list. And then we're going to have like featured speakers. We're going to have interviews so that people can be encouraged. And we've got some industry leaders that are coming in to share their flavor with us. We are going to do opportunities. We have a lot of opportunities because we speak all over. It used to just be the U.S. and now we've like gone into other countries. We have a lot of opportunities for speakers that as you get in the club and we get to know your business and know that you are, we're going to help make speaker sheets. You have a phenomenal speaker sheet, Kristi. I mean, I love your speaker sheet. And it's called something else. I wish Miss Coni was like on live with us because Miss Coni calls it something else. There's another word. So Miss Coni, if you're listening, post what it is that you call it. We call it speaker sheets, but there's another, I think maybe a one sheet. That's what she calls it. The princess has her own language. I can't help it.
If you say one sheet and people don't know what that is, if you say speaker sheet, everybody knows what that is, right?
Well, and in case someone listening doesn't know, we're going to be helping you get your one sheet or your speaker sheet where if you are wanting to go and speak or do workshops or conferences, we're going to help you know what to put in your sheet. And it's kind of a resume. I kind of think of it as a resume for a speaker. It kind of shows some of the things that you've done. It shows some of the things that you are able to do. And it gives them a little background so they can use it for a bio or they can use it for advertising you for their conference. So we are going to have opportunities for speakers in the club. That makes me really excited because we're collaborating with several other people that have tours and conferences, and they are also going to be, and you won't know who they are. I'm going to tell you that. You won't know who they are, but they are in the club looking for speakers. So that's another sweet thing that's going on. And invitations to collaborate. You might have something that fits with someone else. We have a book to business conference that we do, an event. And that book to business, if you're an author, every single book to business we do, we have a launch party for someone. Yeah. That's standard. We do that. And a lot of times we are trying to find someone, you think about all the people that are trying to find somewhere to be. Mm-hmm. And here we are, we're looking for people to serve and to honor in that lunch party. And we are the ones that we put it on. We're not asking them to put it on. We actually do it for them. So that's another thing. If you have a book coming out or you have, something that you're trying to launch, we're all about serving each other and about relational currency, which is Dr. Cassandra and Roz's word. But we're all about that. We're all about making those connections. And, I also will be, it will be a little bit, it'll probably be the first of the year before I start teaching this, but there is something called a joint venture also that, two or more people can go in together and throw a conference, or they can throw a new product or a new class out there. And we're going to teach the inner workings of how to do that successfully, where you are promoting each other and yet you are getting money also, because there is a way to do it, where you get paid to promote someone else. So that's another thing too. And we're always quick to tell if we are getting paid for something. We'll tell you right out loud, we are getting paid to promote this person. Or most of everything we do, we just do it. But I'm saying there is a sexy way to do a joint venture as well. So there's a lot of things coming up. We're going to be teaching about how to hold an online conference and some of the things we've learned just in doing ours. We're going to talk about social media. I mean, I don't know. I think I could go on and on about what all we're going to do, but I think that that's probably enough information to get somebody interested anyway. And it's $7 to join. So that's like,
How much?
It's $7 to join the club for the first month, and then it's $27 a month. So, I can't even go out to dinner and spend less than that. And so I'm thinking that we have put together something that is going to be incredible. And you just don't want to miss out. No one wants to miss out on being in the club. And of course, Kristi's part of the club. She's part of the team. She's part of everything we do because she is Kristi Bridges after all.
Well, let's just break this down. If I spent a membership fee for a speakers club, because there are clubs where you can get speaking opportunities offered to you, right? But you have to be you have to be a member. If I did that, I'd be paying $20 to $40 a month. If I had website help where we're at my beck and call, then I'd spend about $150 a month on that or more. Or I'd spend, whenever I needed help, $600 to $1,000 to $2,000 getting help. And if I wanted just someone to coach me, I'd be spending, coaching money every session, anywhere from $30 for someone who's beginning to, $10,000 for someone who's really advanced. So you're talking about $27 a month. I think, Kim. But I'm not going to.
I know. Well, and that's the thing is everybody's kind of laughed and said, "You're going to charge what?" They thought that I should be charging like a lot more, and I don't disagree that it's worth a lot more, but I just have such a heart to help those that are getting started. I think my favorite part of the process is the startup process, because you take someone's idea or thought inside of them and you help them make it a reality. That is so, oh my goodness, that's like gas in my tank. That's fuel to my fire. And so I think that by doing it this way, it doesn't exclude anyone.
Right.
My $100,000 mastermind program excludes a lot of people because there's a lot of people that can't do that. But the club, there's no one that should be excluded.
Right. And when you're teaching people not to, mortgage their lives to build a dream, but to let dream. I can make a dream pay me $30, $27 a month. I can, that's something that I'm going to actually be motivated to do. I would probably skip right by it if I thought that it was going to be outside of my earning potential. But if it's something that easily a part of that, then I keep motivated to keep working and, so that pays for itself.
Yes. And, I want to point out that we have some people in the club that are making 7 and 8 figures a year.
Sweet.
And we have a lot that are making 6.
Nice.
And we have, so it's not like we have excluded anyone from either end of the spectrum.
Yeah.
But if someone who's making that much money finds value in a club that, that we're doing, that should be something to be said too. True. Is, if you are making a lot and you have a great business going already, we still offer a lot of sweet stuff inside of this that will help whatever business, because it doesn't matter if it's a local or if it's a global business. The tips that you'll learn, you'll be able to apply. Will you be able to apply everything you learn in the club? Probably not, because there's going to be so much.
Yeah.
Right. But I am so excited. I can't really stand it. I'm so excited.
I'm so glad you told us about that. Kim, you get good ideas. Well, and it is
because I hang out with cool people.
True, but the relational currency really does matter. In a lot of groups that you invite people to, not you necessarily, but that we invite people to, they take in but they don't give out. They don't speak out and have conversations with people. So basically, you're still got a room full of strangers. Even though everybody's in this group, nobody's connecting. They're just listening to the speaker. But in a group like that's really going to work, that's really going to give you what you need as a business person, whether you're beginning or advanced, you need that relationship connection. And boy, that book to business thing, I don't talk to them a whole lot because we're, both so busy, but man, Denise and Paulette, I have learned so much from the book to business team. And so it's neat that we can have connections with people who are doing powerful things and get to know them.
Yes. And that was a collaboration. That was when that started, that is exactly why that started, is everybody had a piece of it. Everybody had a piece to add to that puzzle. And look how sexy that turned out. I mean, it turned out sexy and it impacted. I still have notes that I think are so sweet that I got from that, saying what they had learned. Oh. And so that's pretty awesome. I just realized you and I could talk all day long, and we are actually about to go over time. Oh. If you have time to get back on for the next session, sure. I would love for you to be on with Miss Coni and I. Miss Coni is going to be up next. Coni Meyers. Cool. Oh, she is so cool. So if you'd like to join us for the next session, please do get on and join us, and I will send you the link as soon as we log off. But thank you so much for today, and thank you so much for participating in Business Club launch party.
Yay! Thank you, Kim.
Love you.
Love you too. Bye.